5 years since independence, India's universities have operated under a dangerous illusion that caste-based discrimination doesn't exist. The institutions that promised equality became the very places where vulnerable students were systematically silenced, humiliated, and driven to their deaths. Rohit Vemula hung himself in a Hyderabad University hostel in 2016 after being suspended on caste-based charges. Payal Tadvi died by suicide in a Mumbai medical college in 2019 after brutal casteist ragging by senior students. Darshan Solanki left this world in 2024 after enduring caste-based harassment at IIT Delhi that the administration refused to acknowledge. These were not isolated incidents. They were the inevitable outcome of a system designed to protect the oppressor, not the victim. The University Grants Commission's new Promotion of Equity in Higher Education Institutions Regulations 2026 is the first legal framework that finally acknowledges what marginalized communities have screamed for decades. Discrimination exists on our campuses, and institutions must be held accountable. The regulations mandates Equal Opportunity Centers (EOC) in every university, equity committees with mandatory representation from SC, Saint OBC, women, and persons with disabilities. Penalties for non-compliance is loss of grants, program restrictions, withdrawal of recognition. This is not special treatment. This is structural accountability for a system that refused to exist. Until students started dying, critics claim the regulations could be misused. They argue for tighter safeguards, stricter proof standards, and procedural caution. But let's be brutally honest. Who is actually being protected? The misuse argument has never been about protecting innocent students. It's about protecting the privilege of those who benefit from silence. It's about ensuring that every complaint gets bogged down in procedural delays until the victim quits, transfers, or breaks. The truth is stark. Discrimination is almost never proven with direct evidence. The oppressor never says, "I'm failing you because you're Dalit." They say, "Your work is poor," or "You didn't follow procedure." They cook up pretexts to hide their bias. And when victims demand justice, they're told, "Where's your evidence? Show us the direct proof." That's how culprits walk free. That's how victims are left without justice. Circumstantial evidence is the only way to catch hidden discrimination. In every advanced legal system fighting discrimination, from the US to the UK, courts recognize a fundamental truth that is, discrimination hides in patterns, not confessions. The UGC regulations must include circumstantial evidence as a valid form of proof. Here's why. Type of circumstantial evidence and what it reveals. 1. Shifting rationales. Professor changes reasons for failing a Dalit student at every hearing. 2. Disparate treatment. Non-Dalit student gets 3 chances for same offense. Dalit expelled immediately. 3. Suspicious timing. Scholarship denied hours after student reported caste harassment. 4. Retaliation. Student suspended after filing discrimination complaint. 5. Pattern of behavior. Protected group consistently assigned to worst sections hostels. 6. Discriminatory remarks. Casteist jokes by decision-maker in casual conversation. 7. Failure to document. High-performing Dalit student denied promotion with no written justification. 8. Selective enforcement. Policy applied harshly to marginalized groups, leniently to privileged ones. This is not guesswork. This is the legal mosaic that proves discriminatory intent when the oppressor refuses to confess. Without circumstantial evidence, 99% of discrimination cases fail. Victims can't produce a smoking gun. Oppressors know this. That's why they hide behind pretexts. Sending a clear message to vulnerable communities. To every SC Saint OBC student, every woman, every person with disability on Indian campuses, you are not alone. You will not be left behind in the name of procedural delays. This is the message the UGC regulations must send. We see your suffering. We believe your story. We will not let institutions bury your complaint under layers of bureaucracy. We will hold your oppressors accountable, even when they pretend to be innocent. That's what justice looks like. That's what solidarity means. Point F. The Supreme Court or the government weakens these regulations in the name of preventing misuse, as it's been done. The Supreme Court stayed the regulations on January 29, 2026, and the Education Ministry began reassessing key provisions, including the False Complaints Clause. They will be choosing the comfort of the privileged over the lives of the vulnerable. Rohith Vemula is dead. Point Payal Tadvi is dead. Darshan Solanki is dead, and countless unnamed students are suffering in silence right now because the system told them your evidence isn't good enough. Come back when you have direct proof. That system must end. The path forward is the UGC Equity Regulations 2026 must 1. Explicitly include circumstantial evidence as valid proof of discrimination, to establish clear investigation standards that recognize the hidden nature of caste bias. 2. Create anti-retaliation protections for complainants. 3. Ensure equity committees have real power, not just advisory status. 4. Publish an annual compliance report showing how many complaints were filed, investigated, and resolved. This is not about favoring anyone. It's about ending a 75-year trampled on human dignity. So, the conclusion is, justice or nothing. To the vulnerable sections of society, we are with you, not in empty speeches, not in procedural delays, but in action. The UGC regulations are a first step, but they must be strong, not soft. They must recognize that discrimination wears a mask, and only circumstantial evidence can unmask it. No more waiting for direct proof that will never come. No more letting culprits walk free because the law is too weak to catch them. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice watered down is justice killed. And we've already lost too many. The question is simple. Will India finally stand with its most vulnerable students, or will it let them die in silence again?